musicians at first who were accompanying soldiers after a battle. The pavane rhythm is a long, short rhythm. And pavanes were usually felt slow, but in what we call white notation. Ding, bong, 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 bong. Like that, long, short, long. Ravel's pavane is more like an elegy or an homage. It's a beautiful piece of music. Let's play it for a second where the theme comes in with everybody who's a string player. 28. Here we go. 3, 4, let's go back to where we started before, 28. Relax the and of the beat. So if you're a second violin and you're pizzicatoing, instead of going 1 and 2 and play boom, 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 make the ands of each of the beats just a little bit more relaxed. Make sure that you're vibratoing every time you pizzicato, whether it's on beat 1 or beat 2 or beat 3 or beat 4. Make sure there's a lot of vibrato. The top violin part should be felt as though it's almost like a new counterwriting the melody. That you're like a duet partner with a melody that you're going to be hearing played in the woodwinds and the flutes and the clarinets. Don't be in such a rush to get from measure 29 to measure 30. Oftentimes, winning players will grieve here because the next phrase they have to play is really long. And so they'll want to take a little catch breath there. So if you slow down the second bar, yeah, then they can tank up. Okay, here we go, one time 28. And don't be in a rush, be very patient, right? It's like a slow procession. 3 and 4 and. Yeah, so second violin means you'll have to be a part of that whole collective slowing down to breathe kind of thing. So the second bar that we're playing, maybe 29, 3 and 4 and 1 and, right, you won't be able to stay metronomic quite so much. Okay, one more time, 28, go. So don't even think about trying to connect the first and second notes in that bar. Measure 34. So the downbeat is a long cadence, and then you just simply play 2, 4. It's a little kind of a transition figure there. So don't be in a rush to get to the second beat at all. Good. Good seconds. There is a French word today. In your music, there's an R at the end of it. Oftentimes there's a Z at the end of it. It's just like different kind of conjugations of a French word. Do we know what this word means? Yeah, and really in France, it means to calm down or mellow out. The way it's used more colloquially is not slow down, but it's not slow down like actually tempo slow down. It's slow down as in relax. Yeah, exactly. Last time, 27, 28. 3 and 4. Take a bigger breath before you make that pizzicato. Just a little bit for that third beat pizzicato in measure 34. Everybody, the phrasing in measure 33, there's an extension on the cadence, and you hear the oboe play the bass rhythm on the end of 3. La, da, da, da. So if you have a quarter note and then 2 eighth notes like the cellos have and the violas have in the first violins, you have to think that when you're playing your quarter note, that note is being divided into half. And the real phrase doesn't start on 3, it starts and 4 and 1. So you have to kind of wait for 4. Your movement on beat 4 should coincide exactly when the oboe arrives on the 4th beat. Okay? Let's start at measure 33. Measure 33. And 4 and. The rhythm in the first and second violins, starting in measure 35, don't think of that so much as a note that stop and start, as much as like heartbeats. They fade in and out this way. They don't go They don't go like that. It's not like a robotic thing. It's more just a note that has a stress to it, and the stress can be here. With your left hand, and then it fades a little bit before the next one. More like that. Let's start right there at 35, and 3, and 4, and. Very good, very good, very good. Try not to feel like you're going and 4, right? 1 and 2 and 4. So theoretically, so we have this note, then we have these 2 notes, and then we have this note again, right? And it's this way. What we want to make sure that we do is each of these notes has this shape. And then here's the 4th beat. What you're doing right now is this. You're changing the energy. You're going dee, 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 da, right? So it's disrupting the consistency of the shape. So this note goes like this, and then we arrive at this note, which is a longer note. That make sense? Yeah. Same place. The length of the notes was really quite different. It was good. It's really kind of approaching what I wanted to hear. 3 and 4 and. as you're going. It's not da da da. Don't move your finger until you move your bow. Your fingers and your bows move together. Don't let the note fall off and slide back down. Again, 3 and a little more second. Go. More of the C. Across the third beat to the fourth beat in these voices. That's where the peak of the melodic line, dee, da, la, 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 and oftentimes that note is held just a little bit longer, where you allow the musicians to linger on it. It's this nice unison event in the wings. So don't be in any rush to get to the end of 4 is what I'm saying, because in between when you play the end of 3 and the end of 4, they play end of 4 and 1. So there's a little bit of lingering there. And then on the downbeat of the largo, the horn plays the same gesture that the oboe played from before, that and to end. It's just the opposite motion in terms of its melodic shape. So take your time there. Last time I measured 34. 3 sorry, 35. 3 and, my mistake, 35. Pulse like a heartbeat. Good. Keep it all the way through this measure. It is the end of the beat pulse. 2 and 3 and 4 and the more goes and so this section, it says on tempo, but oftentimes it's taken a little faster.
So my thing is, I always get mixed up on the pickup there, and how to prep it, and then
I would slow down and 2 beat 4. Let 4 be long, and then give a pickup gesture so that the pickup in the first violins and the flute, which is really the melody, la da 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 da, is in the new tempo. La dee dee, la da 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 da, like that. Such a great piece. The third beat of measure 34, 5, 6, 7, 8. The third beat of measure 38, it has to feel like it's got all of a sudden some depth to it. The music before this kind of is floating up and up and up, and then the horn goes la da da da, and when you get to that third beat, then that chord has to feel like it's down here, a little bit more heartfelt. It's great. It's a great chord. D7. Let's start right on the measure that you have large. I'm not sure it's correct. Here we go. Right on the bar and. Good, very good, good. So that triplet, feel like it's more spread out. Just spread the notes out. La dee da la dee ya da da. Spread the notes out so you're not in such a rush to get them down. Same thing. The sound was great on B3. And 1 at the large measure. Ready? And. Right there. I know why, because they don't want you to end that on an up bow.
I question it too because it cuts the note short and it stops the, but that, we experimented with them switching, just doing it with the opposite bow, but it just didn't.
You know what? Let's do this. Look at measure 42, top strings. Retake on your tied over note so that the first eighth note you have on the and of 3 is down. Down, up, down, up, down. Do that. Because that's at least a little mini phrase right there where the winds all of a sudden join the strings in the middle. Measure 42.
Should be F.
Your triplet is up, down, right? And then retake and play the and of 3, down, up, down, and then the downbeat will be up, and in the place where you have the down bow, you'll be on a down bow, which is fine. Okay, so you all start on the third beat of 41 on a down bow. Okay, let's start right there. Okay, we're on the third beat of 41. The third beat of 41 on a down bow. 1 and 2 and up, relax, retake, down, up, push. Good. That's good. And that actually gives you the crescendo and the up bow, which is great. But don't separate the up and the down bow. La, la, rom. Don't go la, da, da. Right? We're taking that away. It's the whole reason why we just changed the bowing. Get a hold of the and of 3 more. Where you go, and then you float up. So get a hold of the end of 3 and then the end of 1, bigger in each of those bars. And on the second beat, crescendo basis, so you figure it's going to go 2 and 3 and. So you're kind of going to go down into where you want the cellos to respond to it. And the same thing on the next gesture. So the end of the beats are bigger. It's end of 2, I guess, not the end of 3, end of 2. Okay, here we go. Same thing, beat 341, down bow, 1 and 2 and. Up, relax, take, down, up, down, push, connect. La, 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 dee, da, la. Okay, yeah. So however we relax in measure 43, then we'll get the tempo back in measure 44 where you start playing your heartbeats again. Okay? Same place. We start before. Third beat. That's really coming along. It's really coming along. I'll see pay more attention to you this time. 1 and 2 and. Measure 45, starting the down bow. Measure 46, then retake after your tight over note. So the end of 3 starts, and then don't retake each time.
But if you play a down bow on the third kind of grade,
how will they do the rip on?
double cross, maybe on up bow.
Down, up, down.
Oh, you want us to square it? This way. So,
Retake, down, up, down. Up, down, up, down. Retake the same way, right here. So then this is down. It's exactly the same as this one. Down, up, down, up, down, and then make this up and that down.
Can you try it? Sorry, Rosie.
So seconds.
The whole thing. The whole thing. Okay, so it's doable. So it's doable. It's harder, that means you just have to do it a little harder. Doesn't mean it's impossible, just means it's different.
Do that. So here you're just going to take, this is where you're going to retake. Down, up, down. And then make this one down and this one up. Sorry. And then don't put. Okay, so it's really starting right here where you're going to take. Okay, let's start 41, 2, 3, 4, 5, 45, third beat. 45, third beat, you're in the middle of the long note, and 1, and 2, and. Take down, next yeah, right there, guys. Don't change the bowing. Just take it as it comes, right? Don't retake, just take it as it comes.
Up and then
Down, up, down. Right, just take it as it comes. Okay, same thing, 45. 1 and 2 and. Recapitulation and. Don't push the up bow at the end of the second bar of the melody. La dee 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 ah la. Right, as you're going up, just take the weight away from the bow completely, so it doesn't push at all to the next downbeat. That's the place where, in the phrase, it's going to relax. It's where we took a breath before, or helped to understand that we were going to take a breath for the wind players. Mr. Cato, are you going to have somebody covering a harp part?
probably the piano.
That's okay, yeah. Yeah, or if you had an electric piano that had a harp patch or even a string.
That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
In the festival, we'll probably, I'm assuming we'll just use whatever piano they have. I
Yeah.
don't know. You think
Well,
we should
unless you
figure
could
out-
bring along your own electric keyboard, I don't know if that's against rules or not.
We'll check it out.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll probably have one, because the problem is the heart patch. It's not really,
I understand.
it's almost, yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Completely understand. Yeah, okay, so guys, that section that we just did, You just have to remember, once you get to, for instance, measure 57 and 58 and all the sections that are like 57 and 58, you're not going to retake, so don't separate those gestures so much. The woodwind players play la da dee da da da. They descend a scale, which is consistent, and we don't necessarily need a lot of ebb and flow in the string part underneath that. It just needs to come down in a more connected way. Let's go on at the double bar, measure 16. Here's the peak of the phrase, and then you relax, relax, relax. Vibrate on one. Yeah, good. I'd put a space there, a little space there between beat 1 and beat 2. But before you had a rest there, right? There was that little rest there. Yeah,
I made an 8 now.
exposition.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I guess the idea is you would slow down and just allow for that anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a little bit. The downbeats have this kind of emotional stress that you need to use vibrato on. Right, they all have that kind of emotional stress. Use more vibrato and lean into them just a little bit. The exception, of course, is across the bar from measure 2 to 3 in the phrase. Okay. Right on the same spot. I kind of wish. Well, sorry. You know the four-eight pavon? You know that opus 54 pavon? It has the lower strings pizzicato and 8 notes. Yum, bum, 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 bum. Kind of wish that was happening here, but the harp part will fill the line. And here we go. And take a breath. Yeah. So that measure from the end 1, 2, 3, 4. That measure before said. That was the measure 30, like 7, right? And so we should add that here. And then the next measure, you enlarge the space and the size of the beat beaucoup, a lot. French is such a great language. Anybody's heard of the most it's actually an Italian word. Yeah, dying away. Let's start at the odd tempo from the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 from the end. Oh, let's figure this out. What are we doing with the pizzicatos? Are you playing it like a guitar?
No.
Yeah, it's got to be a faster stroke. Run. Yeah. And so here's the question. Do you want them to start that ahead of the beat so the top note is on the beat, or do you want them to start it on the beat? You want them to go, boy-ram, or you want them to go, boy-ram? It's the two different ways.
I know.
And whichever way they do it, these guys have to do it too.
How did I tell you guys to do it?
On
Yeah,
the beat.
I think it would say,
Yeah, on the beat is fine.
Yeah.
On the beat is fine, but you got to start together and don't do slow motion, right? It can't be. It's just it's a gesture like a guitar player strumming.
so you should be done. You should be done with all of them by.
One gesture.
Yeah.
Run, run. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Right there. Take a breath before you do it. Before I start saying, you got to breathe because otherwise you want to anticipate. Ready. Here's the equal red to you, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. Yeah, right. So remember when the seconds had that triplet in this parallel phrase to this at the beginning where we started. The triplet only existed in the second violins, and I said to the second violins, spread the notes out, right? So everybody has to do that. Take your time. 3, triplet, 1. And actually, then 2 from the end, the tempo may, in reality, then speed up a little bit. So if you really stretch beat 4, and if you then kept getting slower, then that half note would last like a year, which may not be too much. He already kind of has composed a retard by the fact that he takes faster note values, then all of a sudden he creates longer note values. So there's kind of a retard built in there, so don't wait too long. Same before the end, 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. 4 bars. Good. So if you're a second violin or a cello, connect across from the next last bar to the last bar. It's only the violas and the first that are going to have to put a little separation there before you prepare to play that harmonic. Okay, but we don't want everybody to put a space between the next last note and the last note. That's the